For today, you guys are going to try something new. Instead of going to EdPuzzle and logging in as a student, you're going to create a teacher account so that then you can create an EdPuzzle and share it back with me. And when you do that, I may be using it with other students in the near future. Anyway, you're going to go to this web address up here, so edpuzzle.com, and then instead of going to log in, you're going to go to sign up. So when you click on sign up, you're going to sign up as a teacher. And don't click sign in with Google, okay? Instead, let's go ahead and let's create an EdPuzzle account. So you can see it already plugged in some of my information in here. But you're going to type in your first and last name. And then I have a different Gmail account that I use. You guys are free to use your other email addresses if you would wish. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, let's see here. I'm going to take that out though. Create new account. Okay. So you don't have a school code. What you're going to do is you're going to type in our school. And then it pops up in the top of the list. For subject area, you can put down history or social studies if you wish. And then you're going to say join school. So then after you've done this, it's going to ask you to go to your email to verify your account. For me, for whatever reason, it does not show up right away, but for you guys, it should. Nope, not there yet. Anywho, I'll worry about that later. What you guys are going to do, though, is now that you're in here, you're going to go ahead and you can see that there's this bar over here. It's got my content, all that stuff. It should have nothing under my content because you haven't added anything yet. So you're going to go to my content and then say add content. And you want to create a video. And when you're in create a video, there's all these different channels that you can use that have some pretty cool stuff. You can see crash courses on there, which is one of my personal favorites. But you can also just do a search of the content that's in there. So you can see these are some of the things I've searched for in the past. Let me see here. What do I want to search for? I think I'll search for Nat Turner. And I'll see what I get. So you can see that here are some other EdPuzzles that were already created by some other people, right? And they have some different questions and stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean they're good, by the way. So you may want to create your own. You can see from here, YouTube, here are some of the different videos. Now, you want a video that's somewhere between 4 and maybe 10 or 12 minutes long. Nothing too long like this one. Whoa, you do not want that. Okay, that's way too long. And you want to make sure that it's coming from a place that is reputable, right? So U.S. History Review, maybe. I don't know. Let's see some more. Yeah, let me skip that. Let's see what else we got here. So anyway, I would see if there's one that I like, and then I would go ahead and I would use it. Okay? So let me see. Just for kicks, let me go ahead and choose this one. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is you are going to want to watch the video in full. We're not going to do that together right now. But here I am in edit, right? So if this is the video that I'm choosing, here I am in edit. Now, the first thing that I can do is I can say, okay, maybe I don't need the last few minutes. It depends. I would have to watch it through and see what I really need. But you can use the crop tool, which is up here at the top, to go ahead and shorten the video to whatever you like. Since I told you guys around 10 minutes would probably be good, I don't know what the content is, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right? You can add a voiceover if you wish. You really don't need to, though. Oh, dear. Okay. And then audio notes, you can add those if you wish. Where you're giving a little voiceover at the beginning or somewhere in between or whatever. Again, I don't really use that feature. Quizzes is the feature that you guys are going to be using. So you click on this, and basically what you do is you have watched the video all the way through, and maybe you've thought about some major details that students should be able to pull out of it, right? Some things that are really important. And so let's say I'm at this point in the video. Oh boy, this guy looks strange. Aha. Okay, so let's say I wanted to ask a question about this guy. This was from a slave rebellion or slave uprising, right? So I could take a look at the information that's here. And then what I do is I click on the question mark, and you can see this box comes up. Now I can write an open-ended question, but for you guys, you're going to be writing a minimum of 5 multiple choice questions. You probably don't want to have one per, like more than one per minute, because then it gets too muddy. And then one open-ended question at the very end. So for this one, I would want to write a multiple choice question, okay, since I'm somewhere in the middle of the EdPuzzle. So let's see here. Denmark, VC was born in 1767, Charleston, South Carolina. Sailed for 20 years. Wow. Okay, so even though he got his own freedom, he decided to recruit supporters for his planned slave revolt in Charleston. Ooh. All right. Oh boy, this did not go well. Okay, so my question might be something like, and I know this one's really basic, right? What was something Vissy decided to do after gaining his own freedom? And so you can see over here, I've got these, this check mark is for correct answer, right? And this is for wrong answer. So let me put a wrong answer first. He decided to go to Haiti because he was familiar with it. Okay, and sometimes you want to add in some details that you read about but that aren't correct. I know it's very sneaky, right? He wanted to help other slaves escape slavery, and so he organized a slave revolt in South Carolina. And then you can see I can add an answer here, right? For your multiple choice questions, you want to have at least 3 options, okay, for students to choose from. And then my last one might be something like, he went to live. Where can I say he went to live? I'm just going to say he went to live in the north and settled outside of Boston. Okay, you can add a 4th one if you wish. That is up to you. What I want to make sure, though, is I've checked the correct answer, right? Probably don't put multiple answers correct in here because that really gets people annoyed. I know from experience. Okay, so there's my question, and then I would continue on.
Of slaves to revolt, but that never materialized.
So I would press that.
Really has
I would pause this guy, and then I would add other questions along the way. Okay, so I might put one here, for example, and then again, I would type in my multiple choice question. Now, once you guys get to the very end, you want some kind of an open-ended question, right? So, for an open-ended question, you want to make sure that there's more than one way to respond to it. You might want to say something like, who was Denmark, Vissy, and what are a few details from his life? that are important to be aware of. Or another question might be, to go a little bit deeper, right? I mean, that makes sure that people watched your video, but you might want to ask something like, what impact did a slave, or I should say might a slave revolt like VC's attempt have, given that it would likely end with capture or defeat. Okay? Because even though these slave revolts, they were not successful, they did make they left quite a wake. You know, they did make something of an impact on people, and especially those southern slaveholders, those masters and all of that. They could get pretty nervous based on those things and create all sorts of laws, but they also started thinking about, maybe slavery is not such a good thing after all. Imagine that. Alrighty, so guys, that is how you make an EdPuzzle. Now my last step would be to save it. And it was saved a minute ago. Now I can rename it up here. What I'd like you guys to rename it is, please rename it with your name, if you could, and then maybe the topic, or maybe the topic first. How about that? So I do Denmark, BC, and slave rebellions. I know it's on Nat Turner too, so it probably focuses on a lot of different slave revolts or slave rebellions. And then I would put so that it is mine. Alrighty, and it's saved. So I'm going to go ahead and press finish. And now here you get to assign it to a class or make it a public link. Alright, so what I'd like you guys to do is you're going to make it a public link. Okay, then you're going to copy this link. It is copied. Then you're going to go back to your email, which I still haven't received the one I'm supposed to receive, but whatever. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to send it to me. Alright, so cshapiro@jeffcoschools.us. EdPuzzle video. Although I may also just have you guys put it into Classroom. That might be easier if I make an assignment and then have you guys just link it in. Okay? Anyway, here is my EdPuzzle video. Boom. And done. Good luck making yours.